In today's lesson, we're going to be able to learn how to solve percent problems, but we're going to use a different method. We're going to be able to use proportion instead of direct equations to translate and solve percent problems. Um, so the way how we use proportion to solve percent problem, which is what we kind of did in section 6.3, is we're going to set the proportion up using the following manner. We're going to go the amount over the base equals to the percent over 100. All right. So the base is usually in a problem. The value of the base is usually follow the word of. The value of the amount is the part compared to the word whole. So to help you identify from in a specific sentence on where is the percent, where is the base, where is the amount, keep in mind that the base will be a percent. When you see that percent symbol, the base, the percent will be the value that you see with the percent symbol. The base will always appear after the word of. The amount is the part compared to a whole. So I will show you how to translate and identify these values. All right. So our main goal for now is to take a sentence and translate it into a proportion, and then in the next page I'll show you how to solve percent problem using proportion. So alright, so I look at my sentence. I know that this is my percent of what number is gonna be my base, because anything that appears after the word of is your base. So what number of what number, 12% of what number is 50. So 50 is gonna be my amount. My amount. Okay. So this is compared to a whole because 50 of what base. So once you have identified your percent, your base, and your amount, then you basically take them and you replace them into the appropriate parts. So I'm going to write it again. So percent over, amount over base equals to percent over 100. So I'm going to go amount is 50. All right. I'm looking for my base because my base is what number? My base is unknown. And then percent, which is 12 over 100. That would be a translation from a sentence into a proportion. All right, let's do the next problem. Okay, 35 is what percent? So what percent? This is percent of 70. 70 is going to be my base because the number 70 comes after the word if. So this is my base. And that leaves me with 35 being my amount. Okay. So look for that, look for percent, look for base, and then amount will come because that's the only thing left. So remember, proportion that we're going to use the set of amount over base equals to percent over 100. So amount is 35 over base. Base is 70. equals to what percent. Now we don't know what it is, so we write in the letter X over 100. All right. Okay, so first in any problem, identify the percent and the base. The amount will come for free. So that's percent. This is going to be your base. And then what number is your amount, because it's whenever you see the word what, it's unknown. All right, so amount over base equals to percent over 100. All right, the original equation is over 100. Those are the translations. Now, knowing how to translate is pretty important, because in the next page, I'm gonna ask you to solve those proportion once you have translated. But let's do one more translation. What percent of 30 is 75? So that is your base. I'm gonna write the letter capital B for your base. I am gonna write the letter P for your percent. And this is gonna be your amount. Okay, so remember, amount over base, so 75 over 30, what percent over 100? The 100 is always going to be there. So keep in mind, when we solve proportion, when we solve percent problem, we're going to use proportion. And I'm going to, once again, give you the proportion that we're going to use. So amount over the base equal to percent over 100. Okay. Remember, if asked, well, I'll remind you once we get to problems that involve those. All right. So find the amount. So example 4 or 5 is going to ask you to find the amount, and these examples are the same as the previous lessons, but we're just using a different method to solve. So find the amount. If the percent is 15, so you got percent. And the base, we tell you what the base is. The base is 40. Okay. The amount is what you're looking for. Find the amount. So we're going to go ahead and use proportion. So amount over base. So amount over base equals to percent over 100. Recall that we cross multiply. So if I cross multiply 40 times 15, 100 times x. So 100x equals to 40 times 15. 100x equals to, if we take 40 times 15, 600. And then we divide both sides by 100. X comes out to be 6. All right, which is the same as what we got in the previous lesson. What number is 20% of 85? This is my percent. This is my base. So what number is my amount? Okay, so using this proportion, amount, I don't know what amount is because it's what, so I'm going to use the letter X. Amount over base is 85 equals to 20% over 100. Cross multiply, 100x equals to 85 times 20. Comes out to be 1700. And then we're going to divide both sides by 100, and that comes out to be 17. So I will be saving $17 if I got 20% off of $85. All right. Okay, so example 6, 85% So when I see either the percent symbol or the word percent, I know that they give me percent. Of 300, 300 is going to be my base. The reason why 300 is my base is because the base always follow the word of. What number is going to be my amount? Okay, so we're going to go amount over base equals to 85 over 100. Cross multiply 100x equals to 300 times 85. 100x equals to 300 times 85. 25 comma 500, so 25,500. And if I divide that by 100, I get 255. Okay, so we were looking for the amount, which is how much we would save. Remember, base is how much is the original cost, and amount is how much you would save. So you would save $255. If you bought something for $300 and you get 85% off, then you would save $255. That means that you only pay $45. 15%. So this is going to be percent. Okay. Of what number? This is going to be my base because this follows the word of, and therefore this is my amount. Okay. If you know percent and base, if you can figure out percent and base, then the amount is the last number. So amount over base, 1.2 over x, because that's unknown, 15% over 100. Cross multiply x times 15, 100 times 1.2, 15x. 100 times 0.2 is gonna be 120, and then we divide both sides by 15. Dividing both sides by 15 gives us 8, so x equals to 8. In other words, we look for the base. So, and if you remember from the previous lesson, that also came out to be 8. So base is how much you spent on the meal. Base is your original cost. Base is your cost, right? Amount is how much you have to shell out if the tip is 15%. If you go to a restaurant and you had dinner and it cost you $8, then your tip would be $1.20, given that it's 15% tip. 13 is 6.5% of what number? Now, once you're good at it, you're going to be able to quickly identify the base, percent, and the amount without writing percent, base, and the amount. I know that the base is always going to go, down here, and it's always going to be the amount. It's always going to be the value after the word of. So looking at this statement, after the word of, I see what number. So that would be my base. My base is unknown. See? So my base is unknown. So I'm going to put an X there. 6.5%, that's my percent. So I'm going to put that on top. And it's always over 100. So 13 has to go over here. Okay, cross multiply. 13 times 100. 6.5 times X. 1300. 6.5x. Divide both sides by 6.5. And then use a calculator to do these calculations, because I don't want you to waste your time on repetitive work, whereas understanding it's actually more important than doing the calculation itself. So 200, x equals to 200. Okay. What percent of 12 is 9? It's always going to be over 100. What percent of 12, because 12 comes after the word of. Okay, what percent is, we're looking for percent. 9 goes here. Cross multiply. So you got 9 times 100 equals to 12 times x. 9 times 100 is 900, 12x. We're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 12 here. So 900 divide that by 12, comes out to be 75. Okay, last problem. 35 is what percent of 25? Okay, of 25, 35 is what percent? What percent? We don't know what the percent is, so 35 has to go over here. There's no other options. The 100 will always be there, see? So cross multiply 100 times 35 equals to 25 times x. 100 times 35 is going to be 3,500. Okay, divide both sides by 25. X comes out to be 140.